Okay, so it's Friday at the US Open and you can see how many bunkers there are around. I'm Andy Proudman.
And I'm Piers Ward, and today we're talking about fairway bunkers. Let's take charge of your game. Okay, so it's Friday, US Open week. Now, by now, we've only had one day of the tournament.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've seen plenty of people in the wasteland bunkers. So, obviously, they took all of the rough that we saw last time Michael Campbell won here in the US Open. They've taken all the rough out and replaced it with
very nice
this.
Of them.
That was nice, wasn't it?
And you've just missed that nice little bush there, Piers.
Yeah, missed the wiregrass as well. So, yeah, brilliant here on the 10th at the Asprey. We've even got some of the wiregrass there. So today we're going to talk about fairway bunkers. Now, obviously, whether it's the guys this week or the girls when they play the Ladies US Open, it's going to be pot luck when they go into these bunkers. They may well have this on their line, so I don't actually know how to play that shot out of there, so I'm going to leave that one to maybe Andy in a future video. Maybe. So we're going to talk about a standard fairway bunker and the sort of things that you need to get the golf ball out the bunker, get it back in play.
The strike is the key thing in here. If you can strike that golf ball correctly out of this, then obviously you can get it out and advance it down there, which is the key thing. Yeah,
definitely. So the first thing I think the first thing is club selection, though, isn't it? So
yes.
Club selection is important. Make sure you have enough loft on your club to get it above the lip of the bunker. If you can do that, then obviously you've got a chance of getting out. Don't get too greedy. Don't think I'm Seve Ballesteros with a 3-wood. You know, get it back in play. It just so happens here on this hole, the 10th, I've got just over 120 yards. It's uphill into the wind, so it's an 8-iron. The lip doesn't come into play at all here.
No, it's a pretty flat bunker, isn't it? So that the loft really isn't an issue
in this one.
It's more about just getting the yardage correctly out of this bunker. So you're going with 8-iron.
8-iron.
Any reason you're going slightly lower loft for this 120-yard shot?
Well, I mean, it's into the wind, it's uphill, but obviously as well, I mean, there's a couple other reasons. When I hit this golf shot, I'm going to generate a little bit more backspin. Now, a little bit more backspin into the wind, it's going to kill the distance as well. And also for this sort of shot, that for me in particular, I tend to be a little steep on my downswing. Now, that is absolutely what we don't want in a bunker shot, a fairway bunker, because as soon as you get in a fairway bunker, if you get steep on it, so if your club, I'm just going to get in here, Andy. So if your club comes down too steep like so, it's okay as long as you get the ball perfect and contact. If you get that a little bit wrong, then you're in trouble.
It goes a lot wrong.
It goes a lot wrong. Now, obviously, if you do hit the sand before the ball, it's going to kill it a lot of the time. But by having a shallower entry to the sands or to the ball, so if the club head comes in shallower, there's less chance of going too much downward and you've got more chance of collecting it off the top.
So this shallow angle of approach here is going to help that consistency element.
Yep.
And if you get it slightly wrong, it's still going to be better than the one if you go really steep.
Yeah, definitely.
So the shallow angle of approach here is really key.
Yeah, so I think that's the main thing really. There's a couple of things we can do to help us with that. Obviously you can swing softer, like we said, for someone who gets too aggressive, because generally when we're stopping people slicing with a steep swing, we say soften it off and they automatically shallow it a little bit. The other thing I'm going to do is move the ball further forward in my stance. So I'm going to move the ball up in my stance further forward than it would be for an 8-iron, and that's going to help me again shallow out that arc at the bottom of the swing.
Okay.
Couple of other things which are mainly excuse me, maybe more sort of my preference, are to look at the top of the ball. So as opposed to looking at the back of the ball, look at the top of the ball, brings my strike point maybe a little bit later, and I like to hold onto the golf club quite firmly.
Okay.
Don't generally come down the handle. You could do if you wanted to. That's going to bring the club nearer to you and take the sand out of play a bit more, but grip it a little bit tighter just helps feel as though I get a bit more, it sort of shortens everything in the arms.
Yeah, and a slightly clean shot here is better than a slightly heavy shot, because at least that ball is getting closer. If we leave it in the bunker, then we're faced with that same again. So we want to get it out there as close as we can.
So I suppose recapping really, what we want to do, pick enough loft to get out above the lip, number one. Number two, make sure your swing is shallow.
Yeah.
And then if you've got anything else that can help you on that, so, you know, gripping it a little bit tighter or looking at the top of the ball, then that can help as well.
Okay, so ball forward, a little bit tighter, shallow that swing, nip it off the top.
Nip it off the top, bit more club maybe.
Okay. Easy. All we've got to do
Sounds
now is
good,
hit the shot
doesn't it?
and do what you've just said there.
We're going to hit one now. You didn't tell me I was going to hit one. I thought you were just going to get away with just talking about it. All right, let's go. So ball further forward, grip it a little tighter. Not really wriggling my feet in, a little bit of grip in there. These Addy Zeros are pretty good. They give me pretty good grip. So from here, look at the top of the ball, pull the trigger. Oh, that was all right, wasn't it?
Pretty solid. And just to the right hand side of the flag.
15 foot maybe.
And hardly any divot there. A little bit of a divot, but nothing major, which shows that angle into the golf ball was reasonably shallow.
Yeah, if you watch our course vlogs, you'll see me taking a lot bigger divots than that, that's for sure.
Much bigger.
Okay guys, thanks for watching. Hope this helps, and I'm sure you're going to see plenty of people in bunkers. You're going to see a few people up against the wiregrass as well. Join us tomorrow, Saturday's video, isn't it?
For the next tip.
2 days to go.
Cheers guys.
Thanks. Well, so what have we got, about 30-yard shot maybe, just under. So we've got a couple of options. We either need to fly it all the way there, or we need to run it up the bank. Now, it depends on the person which one you feel most comfortable.